piece is the winds, and they can blow embers, 2 miles away.
Wow.
I went on the Cedar Fire down in San Diego, and I mean, we were seeing spots 5-6 miles away. So same thing here.
As we come on the air tonight, another round of dangerously high Santa Ana winds threatens to unravel efforts to contain deadly wildfires burning across Los Angeles. And the fire fears are high here in San Diego, where those same winds could result in power shutoffs for tens of thousands of San Diegans as early as tonight. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. A red flag warning took effect in our area 2 hours ago. The same conditions are being felt in parts of LA County, where the Palisades and Eaton fires continue to rage. Right now, 24 deaths have been reported from both fires, which have collectively burned nearly 30,000 acres and destroyed thousands of buildings, many of them homes.
At last check, the Palisades fire had 14% containment, while the Eaton fire is now at 33%. Our team coverage continues tonight. CBS 8's Abby Black is live amid the devastation from the Eaton fire, and CBS 8's Alex Cheney will show us the locally based aerial support helping fight the Palisades fire.
But we begin with Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis with more on what we are facing from that red flag warning. Carlene?
Unfortunately, we're talking about the red flag warning bringing in the high fire concern here. As mentioned, it went into effect at 4 p.m., so a couple of hours ago. And so we are going to be dealing with these really dry conditions. So strong winds back in the forecast, gusts upwards of about 55 miles per hour. That's not just for us here locally, but it's extending all the way in towards LA. And yeah, they were able to make some progress over the weekend as we had weaker winds, but we're talking about them picking up again, and they're going to stay high as we go all the way into Wednesday, so critical fire concerns there. First, let's talk about the wind. A wind advisory went into effect at the same time, and that's because we're expecting these northeast winds with sustained wind speeds about 20 to 40 miles per hour, those gusts upwards of 55 miles per hour. We are already dry, and we are looking at even lower humidity values over the next couple of days, and that's because we have these winds picking up. You're talking about the red flag warning as low as 11%. Some areas were in the teens today, as mentioned, going even lower, and tomorrow looks to be more the crucial day for us here, as that's when we're expecting to get those higher wind gusts for our Tuesday, and then more widespread coverage with that potential. So we'll go ahead and take a look at your complete forecast coming up. Carlo.
Thanks, Carlene. And in these conditions, this was scary. A brush fire broke out at MCAS Miramar this afternoon, just before that red flag warning took effect, but it didn't take long for crews to put it out. Chopper 8 was overhead when it was reported around 2:30. Crews were able to attack the flames from both the ground and the air with multiple water drops. This burned about a dozen acres before it was stopped.
The Eaton fire is still burning near the community of Altadena, which has been basically decimated. There is devastation nearly everywhere you look.
CBS 8's Abby Black has spent much of the day in the area and joins us live with what she's seen today. Abby.
Carlo and Marcella, the Los Angeles County has launched an interactive fire assessment map where it gives people a first look at the destruction. But once families are allowed to return, they'll have a stark reality. This is what many of them will find, that their homes are down to ashes, their vehicles are beyond recognition. But then there's also hope. They'll find that miraculously their homes were untouched.
I don't know what happened where we're living. I don't know. That's very, I don't know. I don't have words to explain.
I can go check it for you if you want.
Okay.
I see the apartment still standing. There's no damage.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, what number are you?
15, apartment 15.
15? Okay, let
Yes.
me, do you want me to take a picture of it and send it to you?
Okay.
Yeah. So that one's 11. Where's 15? Oh, here's 15. You have a Christmas wreath in front on the front door?
Yes.
Yep. It looks like, there's a lot of ash around, but it doesn't look like it's damaged at all.
But Jacqueline Ramirez's apartment complex was surrounded by fire.
Here at 123 Marathon Avenue, you look behind me, you see this white home with green trim appears to be untouched, but on both sides of the house, those homes are gone. The entire neighborhood destroyed. But then you have this Mercedes that appears to have survived the fire. You look out in the distance and just charred trees.
Across from the National Guard barriers, we found a crowd of volunteers and evacuees at a closed Arco gas station. We're at a makeshift donation site here in the city of Pasadena on Woodbury and Fair Oaks Drive, where you can see that there are piles of clothes, there's shoes, we also have cribs and strollers. People are handing out water and food to many of the families who have lost everything. We've also met organizers who say that they didn't lose anything, but they have to do something to help their neighbors.
I can't just sit still and not help out to Dina or my homies that live up the street, and all of these people are friends and family and neighbors.
For families like Marcella who lost their home in the fires, the donation centers become more than just a source of supplies. It's become a lifeline for their devastated community.
I think it's my way of healing. Stay busy, don't really have time to think about it too much.
To view the county's interactive fire assessment map, you can go to CBS8.com and click on the help button. Carlo?
Abby, amid all of that destruction and devastation, in an earlier live shot, in that apartment building that was still standing, you also spotted a cat scurrying around the apartment complex. What happened to that cat?
It was amazing. I walked down, I called out for the cat, and it came out. You can tell that it was very scared, very timid. It was hissing at me. I tried to get close to it, but then it ran off. So fortunately, my photographer gave the cat its leftover lunch, a can of tuna. I went back to check, and I could see that the cat had eaten it. And then I got in touch with the woman who we were able to tell that her home was still here. I asked about the cat, and she says that it was her neighbor's cat. I was able to talk to the neighbor and give them the good news that their cat is still alive. They're just anxious to want to get back here and check on that cat and check on their home. So I'm so glad that, we have some glimmer of hope. I know that there is a very long road to recovery, but if any way we can share some kind of hope for them, I know that we're all doing our part, and it's amazing to share that as well.
All right, Abby Black reporting live in Altadena. Thanks, Abby. One of 7 CAL FIRE C-130s is currently stationed here in San Diego after helping fight the Palisades fire last week.
CBS 8's Alex Cheney met the C-130 pilot and got a look inside the massive fire-retardant dropping plane. Alex?
That's right. The C-130 is an invaluable resource to CAL FIRE. It can go into hard-to-reach areas and drop thousands of gallons of flame retardant. The CAL FIRE C-130 is a flying fortress of firefighting power. The converted U.S. Coast Guard cargo plane is loaded with 36,000 pounds of flame retardant or water to put out fast-moving flames. This C-130 came in from Northern California shortly after the LA fires started and is now on standby at the CAL FIRE base at the Ramona Airport. The plane flew over the Palisades fire last week and is ready for any flare-ups in San Diego County.
The last several days of the fire that we were on it, we were very effective. All the retardant that we put in, for the most part, held, and basically we're carrying around time. All the fire retardant is time.
Brian Baker coordinates with CAL FIRE and other pilots on where to drop the retardant to make it the most effective. The C-130 and these smaller S-2s judge wind speed and other factors as the retardant falls.
Read the smoke, read the terrain, and we can watch previous drops to see how the retardant falls in the air. So we use all of those things to try to place that load exactly where it needs to go.
It looks like a lot. It's kind of daunting.
I got a look inside the C-130. The front cockpit seats 4. The main pilot uses this red button to drop the retardant. The plane has an internal reservoir that stores the flame retardant.
This was 36,000 pounds of just retardant. So it's basically the weight of a fully loaded max gross S2 of just retardant.
San Diego County CAL FIRE is committing an additional 100 personnel to the LA fires, and right now with no days off. The pilot, Brian, told me that if wind speeds reach anywhere from about 40 to about 50 miles an hour, they won't take off. It's too much of a risk for both the crew and the aircraft. They also told me that they're going to be sticking around here at the Ramona Airport for the next couple of days to be ready to respond to any flare-ups in San Diego or Los Angeles counties. Reporting live, I'm Alex Cheney, CBS 8.